Amazon ads can be difficult and hard to understand as a beginner. There are so many things that you can play around with and it feels kind of overwhelming, but it doesn't really have to be if we just simplify everything. In my previous video right here, I talked about the overview of how I actually run my Amazon ads and how I keep it as passive as possible. And in today's video, I will go over how I create the first step in my Amazon ads funnel, which is the lottery campaign. If you're new here, my name is Andreas, and I've done over $1 million in revenue as an Etsy print-on-demand seller from Sweden. In that same time frame, I'm also generated about $240,000 in revenue on Amazon Merch on Demand, while my main focus was on Etsy. Okay, so start off. What even is a lottery campaign? If we just go into my lottery campaign here, it's basically like the purpose of the whole thing is just to flesh out potential sellers. So this is my lottery campaign. And this is for the October. But if we take the last 30 days here, usually you have this crazy ROAS because you basically spend like at maximum 5 cents on listings being pushed with ads to customers. So the purpose of the whole thing is mainly to find potential sellers with really low ad spend so that we know which listings could be potential heroes in the future. That is what a lottery campaign is and the purpose of it. Now, how do we even set this thing up? To start off, before we can do anything of that, as I touched on in the previous video, this is the whole thinking behind the funnel. You got the cold, and this is what we're gonna focus on today. This whole campaign just focuses on listings that haven't sold even once. And as I mentioned, so that we can flesh out which listings could be potential sellers here. As listings start to sell, you graduate them up, and if they sell some more, you graduate them up again, and if they sell really well, you graduate them up here. But we will start off on the first part of the funnel, which is the lottery campaign. If I just go into my lottery campaign here, you can see here that I've basically split up everything by different ad groups, and the ad groups are different product categories. To make things easy, I just take all of my listings basically and shove them into this lottery campaign. So the first step is to go to your Amazon merch page. I have this Productor plugin, which is free. You can find that on Google Chrome, I think. And they have this new update, which make this whole UI look really weird. I'm sorry about that. But you basically go to export, you go to dashboard, and then you go to export, and then products only, and then the Excel file. You only want the product. And then when you get that, you basically go into Google Sheets. You create a new Google Sheet, you click open, and then you import the file so that it will look something like this. I've basically blurred some stuff here as I don't want to out my listings on Amazon Merch for obvious reasons. It will look something kind of like this with more info, because since you will see the things that I've blurred here. Now we have that one set. So after we do that, we press Command A and then Command A again. If you're on a Windows, it's Control A and then Control A again. And then you go to Data and then click Add Filter. Since I've already added a filter, this says remove filter right here, but it will say add filter for you. And then you go to product type and then sort Z to A. This means that it will just sort the whole list, basically in an alphabetical order. So we have the zip hoodies here in the beginning. All of these listings here are basically all my zip hoodie listings. Until we go to the V-necks here, we will mainly highlight the ASINs, which we have right here. So we basically, and this is the field where all the Asians should be. I've just blurred it for obvious reasons. And then we go all the way up. We highlight these, press Command C or Control C if you're on a Windows. Now we go to Amazon Ads, and then we click Create Campaign. And then we go to Continue for Sponsored Products. And this will be our zip hoodie ad group. And then we go to Enter List, and then we just press Command V or Control V if you're on a Windows. This will include all of the zip hoodie ASINs that you have listed basically. Since I have deleted a lot of these because I don't want to out my listings, these are not included, but this would be included for you if you just highlight the column and then press Command C, and here you press Command V or Control V from Windows. So you basically paste all of the ASINs into this list. Then you click Add. It won't work since these are just ones and not like the actual ASINs. Now we get into the meat and potatoes of the whole thing. You go to automatic targeting, and then you take away compliments since that doesn't work that well. And then you have This is really important, so make sure that it's 5 cent, 5 cent, and then 5 cent. 5 cents per each targeting group, and just exclude compliments since that doesn't work that well. Dynamic bids down only, really important. I found, in my opinion, that product pages works really well for it, since after I did some analysis and stuff. So my product pages is 25%, like you can basically spend 25% more on product pages compared to the other stuff here. What that basically means that, so I have 0.05 as my bid here. I can spend basically 25% extra on top of that. So if I add 25%, then it can basically spend about 6.25 cents instead of just 5 cents on the product pages. I've just found that that works better, so I have that here. And then we basically create the campaign. And I usually name this lottery all ASINs. How I see budget here is that it's mainly a cap. It can't exceed this threshold of how much it spends per day. But since we're bidding so low, it will never even touch it. I mean, if you just look at the last 30 days here, it's spent $6 and generated $285. So it doesn't even come close to $100. And this is because we have really low bids and dynamic bids down only. So no end date, and then the daily budget is 100, and then you click launch campaign. Since I haven't added my ASINs here, I can't do that. But if we go into my big campaign here, you will basically have your first SIP hoodie campaign, and it will look something with only this. What you then do when you have your first ad group, is that you go to create ad group, and then you do the exact same thing for the next product category. So underneath these here in this Google Sheet, we have the V-necks. So this will basically have some numbers for the ASINs like this. We would just go from the top here, click this cell in Google Sheets, go down to the bottom of the V-necks, and there we go. You would all have like the ASINs numbers here. You would basically copy this with Command C or Control C if you're on a Windows. I'm on a Mac, so it's Command C for me. And then you would do the same thing. So you would call these V-neck t-shirts, and then press Enter List. You add all of the V-neck ASINs, which would be here. Since I don't have any, since I've basically taken them out for my own privacy's sake, I can't add them. But here, all your basically listings ASINs would be in here. You click Add. I can't do that since they're just once. And same thing, a lot of the campaign settings will automatically be there since we're in the same campaign. And this is the most important part: set bids by targeting group, take away compliments, and then 0.05, 0.05, 0.05, and then create ad group. You don't need to mess with negative keyword targeting as we have such low bids, and the whole thesis with this whole campaign is just to find potential sellers here. And you basically repeat this for every single targeting group here. So after V-necks, it would basically be tote bags, and you just go through every single product that you have on Amazon merch, or if you're not on your Seller Central, it's the same, every single product that you have, and then you just add those into the actual campaign. And that's how you create a lottery campaign. Now, after you actually have fleshed out some sellers, like if I just go into my lottery campaign here, you can see that I've garnered some sales here with the lottery campaign. When something actually sells, remember, like most listings within the campaign haven't even sold once. Once something actually sells one time, when it's a new sell, you will see that pop up in Productor here, like down underneath here. Once it has sold at least like one time, you add them into the next phase, which would be the warm-ups campaign. I won't be able to go into the nitty-gritty of that in this video. So if you want to see a video just on the warm-ups campaign and this part of the funnel, please let me know in the comments down below and just write the warm-ups campaign, and I'll know that you actually want to see it. If there's no demand on these type of videos, I won't do any follow-up videos. There was some demand for these type of campaigns in my previous Amazon ad video. So if you want to see something more, just drop a comment down below, and I'll know that you actually want to see the warm-ups campaign, and I'll focus on that in another video. Anyhow, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.